Welcome. You are here now. And it's time to let the day go. Let your shoulders sink a little deeper into the bed or your chair. Feel your eyes grow a touch heavier with each passing moment. There's nothing you need to do right now, nothing at all. Just breathe slowly, gently, in and out. Tonight, I'd like to take you on a journey, far from the noise of today, deep beneath the city of ancient Rome, to a place carved in silence and stone. We are going to explore the quiet, candlelit corridors of the Roman catacombs. Not in a rush, of course. There's no hurry. We'll walk slowly. We'll listen. We'll imagine what it might have been like to live in that world, and fall asleep, gently among its shadows. Beneath the grand columns, bustling forums, and sunlit villas of ancient Rome, there was another world. One few people saw in daylight. A world beneath the streets, of tunnels and silence, of lanterns and stone. The catacombs. Rome in the 3rd century was a city of contrasts. The grandeur of the empire above ground, with its triumphal arches and aqueducts, was built atop layers of more humble, hidden life. As the city grew, and land became more valuable, the Romans turned to the earth below for burial. Soft volcanic rock called tuff made it possible to dig deep, and carve long, winding corridors where generations could rest. These were not just graves. They were places of ritual, of memory, of reverence. By night, or sometimes, in secret, small groups would descend into these hushed tunnels, carrying little lamps, clay vessels filled with olive oil and a wick. Their flames flickered faintly, casting shadows that moved softly along the curved walls. You might hear the faint tap of a sandal on stone, the echo of a whispered prayer. Imagine now, a man, old and gentle in his movements, wearing a faded cloak, walking slowly through the catacombs. He's not a priest, not quite, more a caretaker, a custodian of memory. His name is Lucius. Every evening, after the streets have quieted and the moon rises, Lucius walks through the underground corridors, checking the lamps, rearranging fallen flowers, whispering soft greetings to the stone-hewn tombs. Some bear names scratched in Latin. Marcus, beloved son. Claudia, rest in peace. Others are nameless. Just a symbol. A palm branch. A dove. Lucius knows many of the stories. He's tended to this place for years. He remembers who was buried where. He remembers how a mother would sit for hours beside her child's niche, or how a young scribe would bring a bit of bread and cheese, not to eat, but to sit and talk, to feel less alone. Lucius carries a small pouch of lavender. He sometimes places a sprig beneath a carving, as if to say, "You are remembered." The catacombs are not silent. Not completely. If you listen, there's the faint drip of water, falling from above where the earth breathes in moisture. Sometimes a distant rustling, the soft scurry of a mouse, finding its way home. You might hear the creak of old wooden beams, supporting ancient passageways, or the murmur of wind weaving through ventilation shafts. To Lucius, these are comforting sounds. The sound of the world turning slowly, of life continuing, even here. Sometimes, the silence grows so deep, that it feels like music. A gentle hum that wraps around you, like a blanket made of time. Lucius stops in a small chamber. The ceiling here is painted. Faded images of vines and birds. A banquet scene, now worn with age. This room was once used for the refrigerium, a meal of remembrance. Family and friends would gather here after a burial, to eat together and honor the departed. Not in sorrow, but in calm. In reflection. They'd bring bread, olives, dates, and wine. Children would sit on stone benches, swinging their feet, as older women shared quiet stories of the person they had lost. There was no morning wail, no grand speeches, just presence, a gentle togetherness. And afterward, some would linger, running their fingers over the inscriptions, tracing letters with care. As Lucius continues, he passes wall after wall, marked not with names, but symbols. The fish, the anchor, the shepherd with a lamb over his shoulders. In these early Christian catacombs, symbols said more than words. They told stories without speaking. A fish meant belief. An anchor, hope. A circle of vines meant eternity. Some niches had carvings of loaves and chalices. Others had small mosaics of birds in flight. These were the quiet messages of faith, passed down through silence and stone. Lucius, though not a man of many words, felt peace here. He didn't need to understand all the symbols. He simply respected them. Midnight settles over Rome. Above ground, the city slumbers. The clamor of day has faded into soft coals. Below, in the catacombs, time moves differently. Lucius lights a final lamp in the corridor. Its glow is quiet. A hush in flame form. He sits on a small stone ledge, adjusting his wool cloak. Sometimes, he dreams with eyes open, of people long gone, walking these tunnels beside him. He imagines them smiling, carrying baskets, sharing bread, carving names, gently, into stone. And sometimes, he simply listens, to the walls, to the air, to the history sleeping all around him. Lucius begins his walk back. Slow steps echo softly on worn stone. The catacombs are still, not from emptiness, but from memory. Every passage, every niche, feels full of stories and silence and soul. Some of the tombs are older than others, carved centuries ago. A few are broken, crumbled with age. But even these are tended to. Lucius once placed a wild flower in the crack of an ancient tomb. He doesn't remember why, only that it felt right. The flower withered, but he left it there. Eventually, Lucius reaches the stairway, the same worn steps that rise toward the world above. The air changes here. Cool stone gives way to a faint breeze, carrying the scent of olive trees and night blossoms. He lingers for a moment, looking back into the quiet. His lamp, nearly out, still glows. And then, with one last glance, he ascends. Above him, the moon watches over Rome. The city sleeps. And beneath it, so does memory. And now, as you lie still, let yourself rest, like the walls of the catacombs, holding stories, holding peace. Let your breath soften. Let the stillness gather around you, like a woolen cloak, warm and quiet. Sleep, like the night in Rome, calm and slow. You are safe. You are remembered. Good night, and rest well.